Welcome to lesson number 8 on choosing an option from a list. Before you start the lesson, you will need to have the following to hand: your training booklet, a pen or pencil, and a rubber. You should follow the lesson in your training booklet. After this lesson, you will have a clear overview of what to expect in the listening question type choosing an option from a list. Have learnt some tips and strategies on how best to approach the section, and have a chance to practice the question type using real IELTS materials. There are 2 practice tasks in this lesson. Now let's look at the format of this type of question. This example is from a section 1, so it's 2 people talking. You will have to choose one or more options from a list. Be aware that you will probably hear all of the options, but they might not be the answer, so don't just circle the words you hear. Also be aware that the answers are not given in order in this type of question. For example, you might hear option C before you hear option A. Your answers are always letters, and each option can only be used once. There are different ways to write your answers. Let's say question 1 is to choose one option, then you need one letter as your answer and will get 1 point, as is shown in box number 1 on this table. And question number 2 is to choose 2 options. You will need 2 letters in the answer box for 1 point, as you can see in box number 2. The answers can be in any order as long as you have one in each box. So if the options are to choose A, B and C, then you can write them in any of these ways, as you can see in the table here. Before the recording starts, you have 30 seconds to prepare. We'll go through the steps here and then you will have a chance to practice after. First of all, what's the topic? As you already know, it's important to know what the recording is about so you can understand and keep up better. In this kind of question, you can find the first key word or hold in the question itself, so that you know when the speaker will start talking about the relevant questions. You need to know how many questions there are, and lastly, you should have a look at what you have to do. Now you have 15 seconds to look at questions 18 to 20 in your training booklet. Don't forget to follow the preparation steps. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. Now you have time to look at the possible answers from your preparation, which you can read in the back of your training booklet and on this slide. If you need more time, just press pause. First of all, the talk is about places to visit. The first key word might be Trebirch Station. There are 3 questions, 1 letter each for each answer. You have to choose 3 options from a list of 7, and your answers are letters. Now we'll have a quick look at what to do while you're listening. You need to read, write, and listen at the same time, which means you need to answer the questions as you listen. Circle the answers on the question sheet. There's no time to make notes. You should keep up by using signpost words such as firstly, however, and additionally. Now listen to the recording and answer questions 18 to 20 on the form in your training booklet. The recording will start automatically, and don't forget you can only listen once to each recording.
Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Thanks. And are there lots of places to go to around here?
Oh, yes. You can enjoy many days out. There's the Merthyr Mining Museum, which is only half an hour from Trebirch by train. Your children will find it just as fascinating as any theme park, and they can ride in the original miners' lifts and on the coal trains. There are special excursion tickets which include entrance fees. Mainline trains also offer direct services to Bristol, where you can visit the docks or spend a great day out with the children in the zoo, which is set in the parkland that used to surround the old castle. Special family away day fares are available for this service now during the school holidays. Alternatively, you can be in Birmingham in only an hour and a half, where there's lots to see and do, including the new and internationally acclaimed climbing wall built on the site of the old aquarium. We will also be running a special service to Newport when the new Science Museum opens next year, as we anticipate a lot of visitors in the opening weeks. I'd advise you to call early to book your tickets. Is that okay?
Yes, thanks.
Now we're going to look at what you can do after the listening section. You can't really do much in this case as you only have a few letters, so just guess any missing information. Don't forget that you aren't penalised for writing the wrong answer, so write one in every gap. You now have 15 seconds to check your answers, and I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. After the listening test, you have to transfer your answers to a listening answer sheet. You need to transfer your answers in pencil, transfer your letters or the answers to the answer sheet provided, and remember to check if you need 1 or 2 answers per box. Your answers are letters, and read your answers again once you finish transferring. For this lesson, transfer your answers to the space in your training booklet. You can take 20 seconds. I'll tell you when your time is up. You can start now. Your time is up. Now let's check your answers with those in the back of your training booklet and/or on this slide. If you need longer, just press pause. Don't forget they can be in any order. Now you have a chance to practice alone, and after we will go through the answers together. Go to Lesson 8, Practice 2 in your training booklet. You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 38 to 40 in your training booklet. Please note there is a multiple choice question in between the 2 choosing option questions. Don't forget to follow the preparation steps. I'll tell you when the time is up. Your time starts now. Your time is up now. Now listen to the recording and answer questions 38 to 40 in your training booklet. The recording will start automatically.
Our second area of interest was obviously the facilities. There was minimal interest in having a library on the premises, but one option seemed to be a reading room instead, more useful. We would like the current table games room to be replaced with a small gym, and if possible, a small swimming pool. Not, of course, Olympic-sized. There was a large number of respondents in favor of a travel agents and insurance center. We also request that there be the offices of the Student Counseling Center, moving this from the refectory. There was, however, much disagreement about whether to build a drama theater. Just over 40% of the respondents were in favor, but a largish minority were strongly against it, claiming that it is elitist, and a waste of funds. Essentially, the jury is out on that. Finally, given the number of unfortunate incidents in the current union over the past few months, a strong point was repeatedly made about security. The recommendations would be at least video surveillance and security personnel who would check student union cards on request. We doubt if it would be feasible to have a check at reception of all people coming in. Well, this is the summary of the views of the student population. As I say, fuller details are given in our report, but I'm happy to take any questions if you have them.
Now you have 20 seconds to check your answers. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. For this practice, transfer your answers to the space in your training booklet. You can take 30 seconds. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. Now let's check your answers with those in your training booklet and on this slide. If you need more time, just press pause. And don't forget, if there are two options given, you can write them in any order. This is the end of lesson 8, and now you can go on to do lesson number 9, which is completing a table.